Today's film is from 2010 and is said to be 2011's answer to cult hit Paranormal Activity. The film I'm talking about is called Atrocious. Welcome back everybody to my April's Easter egg hunt movie review series. So if you don't know what Atrocious is about, it's about two teenage siblings who endure a terrifying experience while investigating a rural legend near their family's vacation home. And like with the last film, Dead Snow, this film has subtitles. This one was actually very hard to find, so I don't know if you'd be able to find a copy anywhere. It is found footage, and I know that's a highly controversial, debated subgenre of horror. I don't think I got any negative things in here, but it's maybe one or two negative things. So the opening is shown as rewinding footage. So basically it kind of starts off in the middle of the action and then footage is rewinded, and yeah, you get the point. It's a cool opening, kind of sets up the film for the horror and I guess the editing in a way, because in certain points within the film it does actually rewind again, and I'll get to that later on when I get to that point. The framing is pretty good for a found footage film. You'd think that these are the easiest films to make, but at the same time they're actually probably the hardest films because of the fact that the industry is just so oversaturated with found footage films. Because of the fact they're easy to make and somebody could pick up a camera and film it, to make it stand out and to put thought into shots and stuff like that, it takes some work, a lot of planning. The rough editing, pretty good, and there's some match cuts in a way, like to shorten longer sequences. Like you first see it in the scene where they're navigating through the maze. Obviously the shots are going to look repeated, so they had thought of that as they were filming it. So when they filmed that sequence, I don't know how long it took to film it, but they had to try to frame it properly as they were shooting it so that in the editing process they could shorten it down so it wouldn't seem as repetitive. Pacing is pretty good in the film, chemistry is believable, the writing is good, and I have pacing on here twice, so I must have really loved how the film was paced out, like from the beginning to the end. Yeah, the movie as a whole kind of feels familiar. There's nothing really that truly stands out, and that's like one of the negative things, and I'll get to that. When the murder happens, we don't actually see that. I guess there's a camera glitch or something, and then it goes into like a photo slideshow that's mixed with narration, and then there's also some news footage in that same sequence nearing the end. I guess that was done to break up the whole repetitive found footage type thing. Definitely was a great thing to have that, and then at the end of that, what happens is it rewinds, and spoiler alert, it sheds new light on the murder via VHS tape that the remaining character puts in. It hints at that scene, and then it's revealed later on that it's actually the mother that's behind all these, and it explains it in the movie what happened. Can't remember the exact details. Overall, it was an interesting take on the found footage subgenre. It was really close to being a standout entry. It was just below that. But if you enjoy a good found footage film that attempts to do something different than others and kind of does it, or I guess it did achieve it, but at the same time it still has that familiarity of all the other found footage films. Be sure you check this out if you can find it. I think I had seen a copy on YouTube, but I'm not 100% sure. And if I did see a copy on YouTube, it didn't have English subtitles. It just had like Spanish subtitles or something like that on it. Yeah, if I had to give this found footage entry a rating, I'd probably give this film a 8.5. Not enough to completely blow my mind, but it did enough that it differentiates itself from other low-budget found footage type films. So it does kind of do something different, but at the same time, it feels the same, and I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. So I'll let you decide if you end up actually watching it, and if you do watch it, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on how you think it compares to other found footage films that often are more popularized and stuff like that, like the Blair Witch franchise. Questionable entries in that franchise. That also includes the fan films that you can find on YouTube, which I've seen a couple of them. I didn't really find this film as scary as like the marketing, I guess you could say, was hyping it up to be. There were some elements that were shocking. They did those shocking elements really well. I would have liked to see a lot more of those shocking jump scares and stuff like that, but there was only maybe 2. Would have been cool if there was a lot more. And that's probably what would have made it stand out above like all the other copycats or whatever entries in the found footage genre. But check it out if you can. If you like this review, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you're new. Yeah, this one was a little weird, but the next one is very weird, and I guess you could say the next 4 are the weirdest films that I've done so far. Stay tuned for those, and I'll see you in the next one.